be okay. We gonna be okay.
Ugh. Jesus Christ. Alright. Hi everybody, my name is Eden. It's good to talk to you. It has been like 6 years since I last uploaded on this account. So, I just randomly had the thought, I was like, I should start making videos again. I love doing that. I was like, well, what do I talk about? And my favorite fucking thing is to do a whole lot of and watch videos of trans girls' transitions so far. And so I thought that for a good first video, a nice classroom introduction, maybe I could go through the last year of my life, because as of 3 days ago, it has been a whole motherfucking year since I started my gender transition. On a side note, I'm holding the microphone like this because I thought it would be funny, not because I'm trying to do something ASMR, but I also do talk very soft, so hopefully you like that. Alright, starting off, I thought that we could go through a little bit of my life prior to my transition. So I came out when I was 18 years old. However, I decided that I would inevitably transition when I was actually about 10 years old. My thought process throughout my adolescence was that going through middle school and high school as a transgender woman could be very hard. And I honestly just didn't feel like I was ready yet. There were a number of factors kind of playing into the barriers that kept me from wanting to transition. I would at least start my transition from male to female after I graduated high school and before college starts. I am now 19 years old. I came out on my 18th birthday last year to my previous partner. I was with my previous partner for about 2 or 3 years before I came out, and we ended up splitting up. To make a long story short, our relationship definitely wasn't a healthy one. I had a lot going on, obviously, and they wanted a lot of control over my life. So whenever I came out as trans, they honestly begged me not to. I was told that I couldn't, or I shouldn't, or that if I did, they would walk away. So even though I came out on my 18th birthday, and at first they were kind of helpful about it, which is where I got to try on my first clothes and do my makeup for the first time. After about a week or so, though, that all ended up souring, and I could tell that something had just kind of changed. So they convinced me that I shouldn't transition, and I held off for another month or two, but then I just kind of realized, like, what the fuck am I doing? Who am I waiting on? What am I waiting for? So I just came to this realization that nobody could possibly love you as much as they say they do and not let you do that, not let you transition. And so I realized that for better or worse, I had to end it. I ended the relationship right then and there. And after that, it took a little bit of time before I felt like I was ready to come out to my friends or family. And, I was just kind of reeling from the breakup as we were together for a few years. I just had a lot going on. However, though, about a month or two after the breakup, I finally came out to my parents, to some of my friends. I started practicing makeup every day. I remember the first day that I tried on makeup. I was super, super embarrassed about it, and this was when I was with my previous partner. We would sit in our room and get like super, super playing like Super Mario Sunshine, and they would do my makeup, and it looked horrible. No offense, but like we were really, it would take us like 2 or 3 hours to do my makeup, and I looked ratchet as fuck, and I had this busted ass wig and an outfit that didn't even really fit me, and I didn't know how to like fold the socks in my shirt or whatever. But when I looked in the mirror, I know it's super corny, but I really did feel so complete. I don't know how else to describe the feeling. That moment, you realize like my life is like this big fucking what the fuck am I saying? I saw myself and my potential as that big block of marble, and all I had to do was carve away at it. refine and smooth the edges and just become more of who I want to be. But for the first time, I had a vision of who I was. Before that, I couldn't imagine who I was going to be 2 months in the future, let alone 5 years. I was honestly incredibly depressed. I have bipolar disorder, anxiety disorder, and I honestly, I was certain that I was going to, content warning, kill myself before I graduated. Absolutely certain. I remember when I presented feminine for the first time, first thing that came to mind, I was like, oh my god, I want to wear a dress to my wedding. I want to get married someday, and I want to wear a dress to my own wedding. And it's like, seriously, ever since then, I've had my fair share of hard days. But even at my worst, I still feel so good. I still feel like I have so much to look forward to, and that there are so many great things that are going to be and that are currently happening in my life. And my transition and seeing myself gave me the opportunity to live my life on my own terms and not being defined by trying to be the expected version of myself. I played very hard into what other people expected of me. Obviously, of societal expectations, we all do that. But I took it one step further, and I was just very much not at all comfortable being myself. So yeah, I've heard other trans girls describe it as living somebody else's life. That's really how it felt, like you're going through the motions of not just some things, but everything, every meal you eat. You feel like there's this blood-sucking host, and everything given to you just gets passed through them and ruined. That's honestly how I felt about myself and my body. I was so uncomfortable with my beard and my body hair that I really never felt like I was going to be beautiful or lovable. I don't know. Even on the days where I feel like shit and I think I'm super ugly or whatever, it's like, at least I have a wonderful future to look forward to. Like, even if it doesn't feel good now, I'm still just carving away at that marble. And maybe I will my entire life, who knows? But I'm a lot further than before I started. And honestly, it's the greatest thing. Like, I feel like I have a direction and somebody that I want to be and improve. I don't feel like my life is going through the motions anymore. And that's quite a wonderful feeling. So if you yourself have been questioning your gender identity, and maybe you're certain that you are non-conforming, trans, non-binary, I would implore you, absolutely freaking implore you, 100% of the time, to just go for it. As soon as it is safe for you, as soon as you have the opportunity, just run with it. You won't regret it, I promise. All right, getting into the next piece of this, I wanted to talk about some of the social aspects of my transition and what I have kind of observed. I have been very blessed medically, especially with where I'm currently living, the people that I surround myself with, that I've definitely experienced some very nasty transphobia, but I am still alive. Nobody's tried to hurt me yet physically. Well, kinda. That's a story for another video though. For the most part, I've been able to stay safe and be myself and be comfortable in myself. I am at a point in my transition where I would say that 90% of people don't clock me. Really, the only people that I feel like are consistently able to clock me in any sense are other queer people. I'm in college now. I've been making a lot of friends, especially with trans people, and after about a week or so, I had a couple of them say to me that they only recently had realized that I was trans because I was talking about being trans. So that has been very weird for me, because when I first started my transition, I was wearing wigs and I hadn't gotten electrolysis, so I had a full beard, and I was also very muscly. I was very, very fit, and now I have little limp noodle arms and weak legs. So yeah, it's been not as hard as I thought it was to pass. I remember the first 20 times maybe that I went outside, I was terrified. I had this feeling, I was like, what if people laugh at me? What if this is like my last time ever leaving my house? Like, what if I get killed? What if something horrible happens? Luckily, nothing bad did really happen. I did notice a lot of stares in the beginning, and I wasn't comfortable speaking in public, like even to people like when they were taking my order at like Chipotle or something, you know. I just got all in my head and I'm like, oh my god, I totally sound like a guy right now, like this is so awkward, blah 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 blah. You know, it's all that insecurity stuff. It's your dysphoria trying to convince you that you would be better off just going back in the closet than pushing through that bit of discomfort, because humans, we don't like what we aren't comfortable with, what we can't control. And in the beginning of your transition, when you don't really have a super solid like grasp on certain aspects of the routine of you know, or at least how I decided to present my femininity, which was doing my makeup when I was practicing and it looked bad and I still had really thick stubble, I felt embarrassed, and it was really, really hard. But it's just one of those things that you have to push through. And you have to realize, like, if you are going to live as somebody outside of the norm, no matter how well you pass, no matter how great you think you're doing, there are always going to be people who want to put you down. So even though I pass a hell of a lot better than I did when I first started, I've still had some of the nastiest experiences with transphobia, like pretty recently. Next, I kind of want to break down some of my interactions with cisgender, primarily heterosexual, a lot of bisexual men and women. Kind of break down a little bit how my relationship with each has changed since I started my transition. Firstly, and I feel like most familiarly, my relationship with men has completely changed. Prior to my transition, I identified as a bisexual, pansexual. Basically, I care more about the personality of the person. I don't care how you identify. You know, doesn't really matter to me. The lighting in here just got so different so fast. Okay, anyways, I'm in college, and I have particularly tended to notice that men, once they realize that they're not going to be able to have sex with me, don't want to talk to me. And you know, that's fine, but I at first thought that this was kind of maybe the exception. Maybe I was putting myself against the wrong crowd, but I've noticed that for most guys, this is true. Almost every single guy that I was talking to prior to my transition or afterwards, they begin to like objectify you in a weird way. And it's so weird because they never did that before, but it's like, yeah, they get all flirty and touchy and weird because I'm trans. I don't know. I don't know. I shouldn't get too deep into that. I've just noticed that men mansplain the shit out of everything. I was at a frat party. Some motherfucker comes up to me and he was like, hey, do you like My Chemical Romance? Of course I do. Of course I do. One of the best to ever do it. In fact, give me a sec. Anyways, bruh. This dude really has the audacity to sit there and mansplain to me what the Black Parade is about. Like, I had some other dude, one of those guy's friends, come up to me and he's like, my favorite colors are black and white and red. Black symbolizes death, white is life, and red is blood. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, I'm just standing there and I'm like, because if I was still presenting as male, these motherfuckers wouldn't even talk to me, let alone bother me on some dumb shit like that. You really think I care what your favorite color is, Isaiah? Bitch, I hope you see this. Anyways, my relationship with women has changed drastically as well. What I have noticed is that women are very nice to me now. Nobody is scared of me anymore, at least in large part. Middle-aged ladies, beware. You know, I do kind of tend to stand out among that crowd. But for the most part, everybody between the ages of like 13 to 25, more leaning on the femme side, tend to enjoy me a lot. I appreciate it. It's nice being invited into the club. I'm not complaining. I do notice, though, that women are way more excited to ask me the invasive questions than guys are. I think that guys that I'm friends with, or guys that I know, or guys that know that I'm trans and continue to talk to me in any capacity, would rather just kind of push past it to avoid having any sort of uncomfortable conversation. But girls, other girls will be like, hey Gorge, I don't mean to get in your space or anything, but have you had the what, bitch? What? Have you had the sniff? Ma'am, this is a Wendy's. What the fuck are you talking about? What world is that oh, the sun's going back down again. Okay. In what world is that something that you just ask somebody, especially at parties? You put 2 Trulies in a bitch, and then they'll just be like, I have had motherfuckers come up to me and go, oh my god, what are you? What are you? Because if I'm not a woman, I don't know what the fuck you are, Jennifer. Anyways, Dios mio, I just need to look at Gerard. Calm down a little. Thank God. I want to do that makeup look. Maybe I will for another video. I'm thinking about getting my hair dyed red like Gerard. That would be sexy. Or green. I'll do green tips. That would be fucking hot. Moving on. Because I don't really have a whole lot to say on this end, I'm just gonna fucking move on. How is it like with my parents? I had already come out twice prior. I came out as gay when I was like 13, and I came out as bisexual. Kinda, I mean, I didn't really have to. It's just something that you kind of pick up on when I was around the ages of like 16 or 17. So by the time we got to this, the first few weeks were definitely weird. I wouldn't say that my parents are queer educated folk. They're not really hip on the lingo. So it was definitely an adjustment for them. And, you know, at first they kind of told me that they didn't want to support it in any way, medically or socially. And that, at first they were like, yeah, well, if you're going to do this, you're going to be on your own. And I was like, okay, I'll do it by myself then. And then they went, oh, never mind, we'll help. My mom will just like randomly buy me clothes and stuff, or be like, you want to go get your nails done, girly? Bitch, I'm not objecting. That's like $60. Yes, of course I do. Of course I do. Give me that black ombre right now. Yeah, no, they have completely changed their tune. I gotta say, my parents have been some real ones. I was not on insurance when I first started my transition, so my mom helping me get on Medicaid was absolutely motherfucking life-saving. So, thanks, Mom. And my dad, he's a cool dude. He's a real cool guy. You'd like him. He doesn't really care. He does not give a fuck. You know, everybody's always like, oh, you're trans, you must have daddy issues. Actually, I like my dad a lot. He's really cool. So, fuck you. Anyways, moving on. I am also currently in a relationship. Woo! Yep, we're about to have our 1-year anniversary in a few months. We met in the period of time after I'd already come out once, but prior to me starting my transition again. So there was like a 1 or 2 month gap. It was just a coincidence. I went into the restaurant that they worked at. And, you know, I was kind of putting on my game a little bit, and they left their number in my food. I'm not complaining, you know. You know, I still got it. I still fucking got it. They have been absolutely wonderful. They have not misgendered me once. I didn't change my name, by the way. My name has always been Eden. That is a popular question that people ask me. My name has always and always will be. I hope I don't ever change it. Then this will look bad on my end in a few years. Yeah, they've never misgendered me. they haven't ever dead named me because I don't have a dead name. And they were super duper supportive since the beginning. Basically, we had been seeing each other for a few weeks, and I was like, hey, just letting you know, like, I'm trans. I'm about to start this transition. It's okay if you don't want to be a part of that. Like, I know we're just starting to get to know each other, but if you want to stick around, like, hey, that would be awesome. And they begged me, they implored me. They were like, please present feminine next time I see you. Like, let me see you. Like, I want to see you. And so they actually convinced me to drive out like 40 minutes that night presenting as feminine. I was wearing like a skirt and a shirt and a jacket and a beanie and a wig. It was cute. It was cute. And when I saw them, the first thing they said to me was like, "You're so beautiful." And that's like invaluable to me. They have been my number one freaking supporter, constantly getting me out of my shell to wear outfits that I maybe wasn't super comfortable in yet, and getting me to go outside my comfort zone and be the best version of myself. So that has been absolutely wonderful. I hope to introduce them to you guys in another video. But for now, yeah, I can just say that this has been a wonderful year getting to know them. And I'm really glad for everything that they've been able to do with my transition. They went to all of my appointments with me, especially when I was getting electrolysis. That was really hard. And they would drive me back to my house or, feed me because I'm a little baby. And especially when I'm feeling dysphoric, they always make me feel better. Prior to my transition, I was always so afraid that when I transitioned, I would no longer be worthy of love, or that I wouldn't be able to find somebody who would be attracted to me. I was afraid I would be very, very ugly. And so I was like, well, I enjoyed the last 17 years of being a handsome male, so I guess goodbye to that. I'm never getting laid again. Not true. If you are just starting your transition, you haven't come out yet, and you're worried that it might affect your dating life, it really doesn't. There are like 8 going on 9 billion people on the planet. There is somebody out there for you. There totally is. Seriously, once you get in your own groove and you start doing well for yourself, that's when you attract the right people. At least that's what my mom tells me. Once you finally start taking good care of yourself, getting to a good place emotionally, these kinds of people will just crop up naturally. You don't have to go out searching for this stuff. It really does appear right in front of you. As long as you just maybe go to some place consistently, I feel like that definitely helps. Like going to the same workplace, same school, even going to the same cafe. It all... dude, the possibilities are endless. Sorry, by the way, this is just me unscripted, like rambling into my camera for like a half hour. So I'm gonna try to pick up the pace here. No promises. My medical transition, let's get into that really fast. I had no fucking insurance when I started. Oh my god. Oh, sorry, I had like 4 White Claws last night. I did not have any insurance when I started my transition. Therefore, first order of business was getting on Colorado Medicaid. For everybody who does not know, I live in the great state of Colorado, so I have been very, very blessed to be able to medically transition for free so far, and I'm excited to hopefully see that kind of spread throughout the United States and the greater world within the next handful of years, however long that takes. But yeah, I just want to point out that I am incredibly privileged in this, that I have not only gotten to medically transition, had the support of everybody around me, but that it has also been completely free because it has been deemed necessary for me. It's not cosmetic, it is necessary. This is fucking necessary. So I started hormones about 6-7 months ago, coming up next week. I was waitlisted for a few years. It was kind of hard to get into an appointment because we have one transgender clinic that isn't affiliated with Planned Parenthood. No diss to Planned Parenthood. I couldn't get coverage through them or something. It was weird. So I had to find this one very specific doctor. So it took another 6 months or so after I came out to everybody to actually even get seen by an endocrinologist, to which I got in there and I was like, motherfucker, I need this. and they were like, well, you have a heart defect. I know, I was born with a heart defect. So my heart doctor gave my endocrinologist the all clear. And they said, no, you're not going to get any blood clots. You're not going to die. It'll be fine. You can go on hormones. And I said, oh, thank God. Right now, I'm on 2 1 milligram patches. And I'm also taking like, oh God, I'm like way off on this, but I think like 200 milligrams spironolactone a day. That's currently what I'm on. It's been awesome. Definitely noticing the hair whitening, face fattening. My thighs are super thick. My waist turned into kind of an hourglass shape. I was always very curvy before I transitioned. But yeah, it is definitely, I've gotten a lot wider in the hips. My partner likes to smack my butt all the time and say that I have birthing hips, if that's any great measure. I should probably edit that out. No, I won't. I'll leave it in. And then they'll watch this and get all embarrassed. Yeah. As well as that, you might also notice that my face is very smooth. That's because I got electrolysis, bitch. I'm on like session 6 out of 8. I paid for an 8-session package on my face and chest area because I used to be very hairy. It has been fucking awesome. At about $100 per session for about 30 minutes, this bitch will... It feels like somebody taking like 3 rubber bands, winding them up as far as they go, and snapping that shit right under your nose. It is so painful, ladies, gents, and everybody else. It is actually the worst feeling I've ever had in my entire life. I have 10 tattoos. Yes, count them, 10 tattoos. And I never, ever got close to crying. But by the time I left that first electrolysis session, motherfucker, I was sobbing out the bank. I was crying my eyes out because it hurt so freaking bad. It is a tiny laser that they just go over and over, like every inch of the whole beard area. And the more beard you got, the harder that shit is. And baby, did I have a lot of beard to get rid of in the beginning. Now, got nothing but a few looses on my neck, but they're white anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, that was definitely not roses. That shit sucked. Would recommend the procedure, would recommend the doctor. Barris Laser Skincare, absolutely wonderful. You know I love you, Dana. But yes, I would not recommend the pain. 0 out of 10. I also did like a really high like intensity on the laser, so maybe turn it down or something when you go in, because it hurt like a bitch. All right, and the last medical question, or rather answer, that I'm throwing at you for the day are: what procedures have I had done, and what am I planning on getting done? I have only gotten electrolysis done so far on my face, and I've also started hormones. I, at this time, do not have any plans to get sex reassignment surgery. Having a penis does not grant me any dysphoria. I am not experiencing erectile dysfunction. Sorry if that's a little TMI. Honestly, I don't really mind it. Aside from being a little inconvenient for the clothes, it's working out for me pretty well. And as far as I know, it seems like you kind of got to put your life on hold for a while to get the surgery. So I am kind of planning on waiting. I've never shared that with anybody before, so you're the first to hear that. I have no plans currently to get it. However, it is covered through my Medicaid, so I might before I get off of it. However, I am planning, and I am scheduled for a breast augmentation. Let's go, bitches. Woo! So that's gonna be in like April or May of 2022. That's gonna be about 6 or 7 months from now. Because my doctor, my endocrinologist, I have a consult set up for next month, to which they're going to put it for another 6 months out so that they can get all the legal work done. But by that time, I should be far enough in my breast development that they're going to be ready for it. And it'll be awesome. And I'll have super fat, double D, mommy milker, Trisha Paytas titties. It's going to be fucking baller. And you're all invited to sign them. In the meantime, though, definitely a lot of chest development. Don't know if you could see it under the shirt, but going pretty well. Going pretty darn well for only like 6 or 7 months. Very happy with my hormones. They're definitely going strong. I'm supposed to be starting progesterone in like 6 months, but right now I'm only on estradiol and spironolactone. Also, this just randomly popped into my head. This is the voice that I use when I'm speaking at home. For anybody who is curious, I have a completely different voice. I'm in voice training lessons at this current moment with a graduate student at the college that I go to. He's absolutely wonderful. So I do present with a different voice out in public, at work, at school, etc., etc. But at home, this is how I like to talk to my family, to my partner, and to my dog. The most important change that I want to note here for you is that my eyes are bigger and my smile is brighter. I know that's super fucking corny, but it's true. I bet my eyes aren't actually that much bigger, but they definitely reflect differently. I think people notice that I look a lot happier to be here, and that when I smile, it seems like I mean it. I'll probably share some pictures of myself prior to my transition, and I look fucking dead inside. I was kind of going through the worst of it, so I'm not looking my best in my old pictures, but yeah, my smile is bigger and my eyes are brighter. In my eyes, I see that as the wealth of opportunities that are being laid in front of me and the many great things that I have accomplished and will continue to accomplish, as well as the fact that I'm just a whole lot happier to be here. Now, to break this up a little bit, first off, I was having peanut butter and jelly before I decided to record this video. Oh shit, the Gerard Way pictures. Sorry. A little bit about me to introduce myself. Again, my name is Eden. Nice to meet you. I love reading, writing, drawing, cooking, running, skateboarding, playing with my dog, blah blah blah. Some of you might know me, especially if you've already been subscribed to this channel, because prior to my transition, I used to like writing music. So thank you to the 100,000 people that listen to my music in the last 3 months. Even though I haven't promoted any of it in like 2 years, you guys are baller. That is absolutely freaking amazing. Thank you so much for that. It's definitely been putting me in the mood to want to write some more music. I put it on the back burner because I was a bit embarrassed about my voice. I'm gonna be honest. I just wasn't comfortable singing in a male voice. Or a masculine presenting voice, I guess. But I feel like I've gotten to the point now where I can sing. I have been writing a lot of music and I'm excited for it, as well as this baby. I've been working on writing a comic. Some other people that are sub to this channel might remember that when I was in like middle school, I used to absolutely love drawing. I used to make these comics and publish them on Webtoon, and I would make art and put it on DeviantArt. I've always been a gay little kid, so I have been working on that too. I have an iPad and Procreate. I've got my Wacom stashed away somewhere, but yeah, I've been working on this comic. The first chapter is most of the way done. It's about 30-40 pages or so. It's all been storyboarded out. The cover has been finished, and maybe the first 10 pages or so. I'm just kind of taking my time with it because I am also in college. Thank you. I got accepted into a university on them goddamn trans bucks. I'm currently, oh my god, so stereotypical. I'm currently studying computer science at an unnamed college. I've been working pretty consistently, like almost every day since I was like 14 years old. And so taking the last month or so to not be working every day has been great. And I've honestly been feeling really grounded. And like I'm able to reprioritize and come up with some awesome new goals. I want to make a variety style content. I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of going as I go. I want to iron this out. And I want to be very personal to you. I love watching videos where people just talk at me for frickin' ever. So I'm hoping that I could do that for somebody else. I want to see more trans content creators that kind of break outside of the box of like, oh, I'm trans and all my content is about being trans, and maybe just do something a bit funnier, sketch content, maybe tutorials. I honestly have no clue, but I've been really excited to do this, and I've already recorded this video like 4 times. So in my next video, I'll be getting an ice pick lobotomy, and in the video after that, I will be dying of brain damage. So stay tuned for more. So yeah, this last year of my life has been kind of crazy. However, I gotta say, it's one of the best in the books by far. If you've stuck around this long, thank you so much for watching. I really look forward to getting back with you again as soon as possible, and maybe chatting about some other random bullshit. Maybe some comics that I've been reading, or some music recommendations. Oh my god, I'll probably do music reactions. Ugh! I think that I would... Yeah, that's it. Okay. Anyways, later guys. Have a great day. Bye.